Welcome to our PL Possibilities series. These videos have been created to assist teachers in improving their Canvas skills for the purposes of teaching and learning. This video is part of the Evidence of Learning playlist. An overview of the Evidence of Learning playlist is displayed on the screen. This video will focus on whole class discussions as evidence of student learning. From within Canvas, there are a number of ways with which to create a whole class discussion. You can create it by adding it as a discussion to a module or adding a link to it within a page through the Rich Content Editor. But one of the most common ways of doing so is to click on Discussions from the Course Navigation menu. To create a new discussion from this view, click Plus Discussion. This will create a new discussion for you and provide links so that you can link to it within a module or within a content page itself. It's important that you give your discussion a title that is meaningful to both you and your students. In this case, I'll call it a whole class discussion example. The Rich Content Editor here works similar to a page, where you can add video content, links to websites, and other prompting questions to focus the conversation for your students. Because this is a whole class discussion, I would like this to be posted to all sections or to everyone in my class. I have the additional option to choose a file as an attachment to my discussion post. This could be a useful way of providing meaningful content to focus the discussion for your students. In terms of a whole class discussion, there are a couple of options that you can set to enable students to engage with the learning content or provide evidence of their learning. You can allow threaded replies to generate that online community between your students. This means that students can respond to each other's discussion posts. You can also tick that users must post before seeing replies. This might be a good way of sensing engagement with students and to enable students to have their initial thoughts posted before they look at the thoughts of others. If your students use RSS feeds or like to use podcast feeds, you can actually enable this feature. And you can choose whether or not you include student replies in this podcast feed or whether or not it's just the teacher posts that will drive this conversation. If it is a marked discussion, it automatically gets assigned to the students to do. You can also allow liking. Only graders can like, so the teachers might be the only people who can like, or you can also sort by likes if you're gauging community involvement. Remembering that this is a whole class discussion, if you choose things that are not marked, you can add it to the student to do. Their conversation or their discussion post won't flow through to the mark book, so it might just be a good way of actually generating that sense of online community. But for you to capture evidence of an individual student conversation or discussion post within a whole class discussion, it's really important that you tick the marked one. You can choose which assignment group it goes to. You can display as complete or incomplete rather than grade it, just to make sure that students have completed the work. If you want students to do peer reviews on their discussion posts, you can enable this feature as well. Because this is a whole class discussion, you'll assign it to everyone. You need to have a due date, available from and until. You can also add additional functionality, so you might choose that some students might have longer to engage with the discussion than others. Once you are happy with the settings of your assignment, click Save and Publish, and you'll notice that this is a marked discussion and students will have that view. When students are engaged and they can write a reply, you can also sort a number of features. Whole class discussions are useful for engaging that online sense of community, but enabling students to be learning resources for one another. Remember that marked discussions would automatically put this in a student's to-do list, which might assist students in completing required tasks, but you can also make sure that when they're marked discussions, you can capture the posts that they have put and mark them per individual rather than within a whole class discussion context. Thank you for watching this PL Possibilities series video.